Hi, welcome to Tea Time with Amie and Bev.
Good morning.
Hello, hello. What's happening, sister?
I'm actually taking a week off. My birthday was on Saturday, so I just
Yeah.
decided to take some time to, I guess, get my stuff together in my mind and stuff. And I'm so thankful that I actually have these opportunities because I didn't have them before. At least I felt like I didn't have them before, but I didn't give myself 5 minutes. And at that point, I always put all the weight of the world on my shoulders to do everything. I never asked for anybody's help or divvied out any of the like, here, you do this, you do this, you do this. I would take care of everything. So it's like I'm in such in a different space now. It's very nice, but it's nice because I notice when I'm a little bit right lately, I'm just feeling like if I'm off just a little bit, I'm taking my time to go sit outside with my feet in the dirt or just to breathe, just to feel the breeze. So it's actually been really good. Cleansing.
Delegating is something new to me because I too am just the type of person I'll just do it. Because by the time I explain it to you, I'll have it done, right? So
Yeah.
either way, I gotta spend that time. Um, just hitting on this briefly, that's a form of control, just so you
Oh yeah.
know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I know. I'm very well aware of that,
I
and it's
know.
tiring. Ah,
Yeah, it's exhausting trying to control everything, do everything, take care of everything, be in charge of everything, and um, and then we don't take a breath. But it's that control thing. And if you well, I have listened to several because I'm in that for the past year, you know, shifting gears in my mindset to be have a more business orientated mindset, and that's mainly because of changing my financial stories. So there was quite a bit of work there to do and to see business through different eyes. um, but I don't know if you've heard of I know like Dean Graciosi teaches, it's called Seven Levels Deep. um, and it's where you ask why am I doing this, right? Why am I doing this business? And then from that answer, you take that answer and you go, okay, well, why is this important? And you, whatever answer you gave to the first why is, now you're diving deep into your answer, right? And so whatever answer you come up with that, then it's why, and you base your next answer on the second why. Does that make sense? Like so if I said why am I doing my business, or why do we do tea time? From my perspective, I show up for tea time because I feel like I offer up valuable information. Okay. Why is it important to me to offer up valuable information? And then I take my answer from that and I just keep going. So what my point is that when business leaders do this, majority of the time, it comes down to, I want to be in control of my life. This is why people go into business. There's no doubt those first three or four whys, 3, 4 levels deep, we're focused. And I've heard many stories of this, that it's all focused and based on helping other people. I want other people to, I want them to know my knowledge and my information, my wisdom, and help them. And I don't want them to suffer. But when it gets down to like around the 5, 6, and 7, it actually starts to turn inward. And it's like, I want to be in control of my finances. I want to be in control of my time. I want to have more choices in my life, right? I want um, better, be treated better, whatever that bottom line is. I'm going to say majority of the time, I want to say 9 times out of 10, but I'm going to say probably 10 out of 10. It comes down to being in control of my life. And when you have a job, they tell you when to go on vacation. They tell you how much you get paid. I know the jobs I've had, if I was sick and called in sick, man, I got the guilt trip laid on me. I'm like, that's not way to treat a human. You treat humans in the sense of you're sick, you need to nurture yourself and get better so you're 100%, 110% when you come back, right? But it wasn't that way. And so all those stories wrapped up around working for somebody else or being employed. Some people love it. Don't get me wrong. There are people out there that love having a job and they love working for other people, and that's amazing. For me, I just got tired because those were the type of positions I got myself into, was more more work for more pay. And I ended up in a couple of my jobs that I was doing the work of 2 to 3 people, because they figure if I'm paying you more, you can do more. And it's like, wait, I'm one person, right? So so for me, absolutely, I'm in this to help people and to guide them and share the information and knowledge that I have, the wisdom I've gotten from my experiences. But at the same time, it's on a selfish basis that I don't want to work for somebody else. I even have it posted here. If I don't work my business, the following will happen. I have to get a job. I'm not in control of my schedule. And then the third thing is, others may continue to suffer. I have it right here in front of me. So I see it every day to remind me why I show up.
Nice.
And I really don't want to go get a job. So that's the number one top of the list, like gets my attention. It's like, you better work on your business, lady, because if you don't, you got to get the money from somewhere. So
yeah.
So it was just that controlling piece that I just wanted to bring attention to, that being in control of your life is, I mean, it's important. Having a sense of control of your life is important, but no doubt there are things that it's important that we delegate to get help. So from a business point of view, can't do my whole I could do my whole business by myself. That would be very exhausting and take me a lot more hours to get things done than needs to be. So building a website, I'm not a website builder. I can do it. I've done it before. Recently, I built half my website and decided I could spend my time in areas that are more beneficial for what I do than building a website. Right. And then marketing, I probably end up hiring somebody to do my marketing, and, just different things like, here, you do this while I go teach a class, while I go help people, while I go do a coaching session. So delegating, it's also, it goes along the lines of, if I look at it as a sense of, because I'm asking for help, that means I can't handle it, which means I'm not good enough. We just always come back to that underlying story. I'm not good enough. And the fact that's not true. I'm good at coaching. I'm good at teaching classes. I'm not good at building websites. I can do it. I'm okay. It just takes a long time. Right? So it's just recognizing where are your strengths, utilize your strengths in those areas, and delegate the rest. Because everybody has so many talents. And this is something I had to learn, and this is why I can teach it, is that everybody has their own talents. So if I know somebody who's really good at writing emails, come on, sister, hop on board with me, right? So if I know somebody who's is good at marketing, great. Let's talk about your skills and let's run with it. So it's recognizing that people have their talents and gifts and they want to utilize them. But then there are people like myself who took me a while that said, no, I can do it myself. And then I have to take the time to learn the skill.
Yeah.
I'm like over it. That's like another part, not only for business mindset of shifting my financial mindset, but getting into a business mindset of knowing that I need a team of people to help me to move faster if I want to. If I want to move slow pace, then I'm going to do it all myself. I mean, it's going to be slow mo, right?
Yeah.
But to move at a little faster pace and to get to, reach my goals and stuff, then having people to help me, delegating those tasks is going to be very beneficial to not only my business, but the amount of people that I can reach.
I agree. Besides that, at the same time, you're employing other people,
Yes.
doing something they were doing.
And here, here, watch, check this out. It's right on my screen. Okay, right here. It says, by creating success for myself, I'm creating success and opportunities for others. I see this every day when I open my screen.
Because we're all one unit. We're all one, honestly. Everybody's an aspect of ourselves, and we don't have to do everything. Freeman and I were just coming back yesterday. He had to get his tires rotated, right? And he's like, well, I used to do that. Because the same thing that you're talking about. Well, I said, yeah, all the men in my family always did the oil changes and the fuel filters and the air, all that stuff. All that stuff was always handled at home. Well, there was other people that had skills of doing that do it all the time on a regular basis. So now we've become reliant on someone else to do that job for us that we just don't want to do it anymore because it's not our forte. It's not something that we're skilled at doing anymore. I mean, he could do all that stuff still, but I can't. So I would have to, I could go watch a YouTube video and go through the whole process, just like you said, and do it all. But it's like, why? There's someone else that can make money doing that. And I can, it's just like it stimulates everybody. So it's it's interesting for sure. And we're not supposed to do it all. I always thought that we were supposed to do it all. Probably because that's how I saw my mom.
That's what we were taught, man.
Yeah, it was and that's what I was told recently. It's like we only do what we were taught. So it's like if we have behaviors, it was because we were taught those behaviors. And now when we start recognizing them, that's us no longer being the victim. It's us taking control. It's us, wiping that hard drive of all the stuff we've learned and then putting new information in. That's our responsibility. Life is pretty amazing. I say that all the time. It's pretty amazing. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, sometimes I'm like, fuck, life is amazing. Like it blows my mind like, oh my God, here we go again. I just thought we're at an even place, but it's like a roller coaster ride a lot of times it feels like. So just keeps it exciting, I suppose.
Absolutely. Yep. So we'll work on that delegating piece.
Well, and I'm in a learning year, right? I'm in a learning year, so I'm in a self-reflective year. So for me, a lot of the stuff it's not there. There's not. I mean, learning, that's part of the delegating thing too. But it's like I'm not taking on the responsibility for anything anymore like I used to. Something interesting happened over the weekend. One of my daughters were here, and they were talking to someone that used to be in my life on a regular full-time basis, and I'm hearing the voice and I'm hearing the manipulation and all this stuff. I'm like, oh my God. Like I was in this all the time and I had no idea that I was being manipulated. Like every part of the conversation was manipulation for that person, how that person can get whatever they wanted. And it's like, holy crap. And it's like, why are you guys punishing yourselves being in this relationship? Well, probably because I did it for so many years, right? They learned that from me. And so now it's up to them. It's like, they got to ask themselves, why? Go back to your why question. Why? What am I going to gain from this? Why am I punishing myself? Why don't I think I deserve better to be around me? Because it's like, that's a question I can't ask. I mean, I could ask them, but they got to ask it themselves. They have to go really deep. Like you said, they have to go to the levels and wonder why. For acceptance, for what? Like for what? So I find it interesting.
Yeah, and the process of the 7 levels deep with the why question is to come to the motivation of why you're actually doing your business. Okay.
Yeah.
But for sure, because I've done it, for sure you can do it use that same why questioning to figure out, just like you said, why am I in this relationship? Why am I in this relationship? Well, because I feel, because they're family, I feel obligated. Okay. Well, why is it important, or why do you feel obligated? Because they're a family member. Um, well, family is everything, and this is what we're supposed to do, right? It's based on whatever your answers are, and then you ask, well, why is this what you're supposed to do?
Yeah.
Right, and you just keep going with the ask, and for sure you could use that same concept for your healing process to get to the core of, why am I in this relationship?
Yeah. And the
Well,
thing is, I couldn't have asked these questions of myself. I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I would see it like, oh, here we go, drama. Okay, whatever. I
yeah,
would just like kind of blow it off a little bit, but I didn't see to what extent it was. It really blew my mind. It really has blown my mind. I was like, wow, that I was in this all the time. That was acceptable. That was okay for me. And now it's like there's no going back. We're on two different levels, two different flying discs is what Abraham would
yeah,
say. We're on a
yeah.
flying disc, and sometimes you're way up high because you're happy, and maybe you're down lower because you're not happy, or you're mad, or you're hating, or whatever the situation. We're just on two different levels, two different flying discs, and that's all right, and that's okay. It's just it just really caught me off guard, because that's what I lived in, that's what I survived in.
And now, it's the same thing with that barrel of monkeys. Like, you're now out of it, and you can see a bigger picture, right? When we're in a relationship with somebody, we put the blinders
Yeah.
on, and we give them the benefit of the doubt. We only want to see what we want to see. But everybody outside of that relationship's going, why are you hanging out with this person? And you're just like, oh, they're okay. That's just the way they are. It's almost like uh, a couple that's together who is either abusive or in an addiction type of relationship. There's some form of addiction, like you're always covering up for them, and being the
Oh yeah.
enabler, right? But then when you get out
Oh
of the
yeah. Not even knowing
relationship,
you're doing it. Yeah.
say it again.
I said, not even knowing you're doing it, not even knowing you're
Right,
enabling, not even
right.
not even realizing.
Until you get yourself out of the relationship, and now you can see the bigger picture like everybody else, and you're like, just like you're saying, whoa, I put up with that for how long and why?
Yeah.
Right? So, um, and then it's like, here's the person. So here's the center person, and there's these people around them. And then there's the outside people, right? The people that can look in and see a bigger picture, right? And
Mhm.
so you were closer to that person. So you're with this group of people. And now you've pulled yourself out into the outer ring, and there's still these other people around him. And now you're like, okay. And without telling these people what to do, it's giving them, it's asking them the questions in such a way that they can start looking at it differently.
Yeah.
So, so Bev, don't you feel that's kind of manipulative of what's happening in your relationship with this person? Right? You're just planting those seeds for them to
Yeah.
start recognizing what's being said, how they're saying it, what they're trying to get you to do, and just make them more aware without telling them, oh my God, that person's horrible. Why are you hanging out with them? Right? It's their choice to hang out with them, just like it was your choice to hang out with the person, same person. But it comes down to love and acceptance. And if they feel like they're getting that, they're going to stay. When they have that for themselves, they'll start to pull away, and they'll start to end up in that outer circle. And you know what? A person who, we all attract the people that we quote unquote need to be around, right? We all have that point of attraction. So if this person is here and you're attracted to them, and then you start seeing, um, recognizing more, being aware more of their behaviors and their patterns and their words and their manipulation and all that, you start pulling yourself away and you're starting to come out here on this outer circle, creating distance. Don't worry, they're not going to be alone, because they'll attract somebody else from somewhere to buddy up with. They're never going to be
Yeah.
alone, because
Mm-mm.
these people will be attracted to them for the same reasons,
Exactly.
until they decide they no longer want to be in that, till they decide, yeah, I don't need to be treated like this, right? I value myself, I'm worthy of better things or better relationships. I don't need to put up with this anymore. And so then they will go out to the outer circle, but don't worry, because that person in the center, they will attract somebody else, so they will never be alone.
And I've seen a lot of that. I've actually witnessed a lot of that even more recently, because it's like even more as they pull back, there's more people that come into the center of it. And it's like, then I'm like, I wonder how long that's, how long are they, I mean, how is their growth going to go? It's as fast as we let it, right? We can wander around the desert for hundreds of years, or we can wander around in a walk and like, I don't know, this isn't good for me. And it's really, what I've noticed lately for myself, it's really honoring ourselves. And I say that, but it's not, but it's so much bigger than that. It's really taking time to say, I love myself. I appreciate myself. I do many different things, and it's not just saying the things, but it's like, oh, for me, it's almost acknowledging it. I've actually even been going back as far as, I always said I couldn't remember stuff in my childhood because it's stuff that had gone on, but I'm starting to remember stuff lately, not bad stuff. I'm remembering the good stuff. I'm remembering, gosh, my mom always used to take myself and my sister to the lake all the time. Like we would go down to Catherine's Landing, or we would just go down and feed fish or ducks, or we were always going, we would load up. I remember walking in my flip flops in the hot sand. Like I'm remembering all these things and thinking, I was a great kid. Like I was fun, but it was the things, I didn't remember these things before. I think I was hating myself so much I could never see the good things. So it's like I'm going back to that kid, but I'm also seeing that kid, and it's like, oh, I love this kid. I wouldn't feed you to the wolves. Like you were fed to the wolves for a long time. And that's not the way it is anymore. So I'm embracing a lot of that stuff. So it's a lot of like not even really intentionally doing this, but it was already going that way. It was this is our universal team knows what we're ready for next.
Mm-hmm.
We always think that we're ready for so much more, right? Always. But it's like our team is like right there feeding us along the way, or giving us little clues or messages or guiding it. I mean, as much as we'll accept it. And it's like the more that I'm accepting of it, the more that it's showing up. And I just have more of this growth. And right now, I would say, I guess they would probably say inner child work, but I don't like to use the word work for it, because it's just because I'm remembering. I'm like remembering things, and I'm seeing myself, because we've all seen other kids that reminded us of ourselves when we were little. And it's like, they're so cute and adorable, but why did I think I was ugly? I look just like this little girl. Why did I think I was ugly? There was nothing wrong with me. So it's like now I'm seeing that little girl and loving her and seeing how beautiful she was, instead of degrading her or thinking that she was less than. Because I mean, I had thought I was less than forever, probably until the last year. I don't know. I mean, really. So it's just an interesting space to be in.
Yeah, that's awesome though. We got so, I would say it's very, if I was to put a number on it, maybe 1 in 10 people have I talked to that said they had a good childhood. Right? It's like,
Yeah.
very seldom do I hear more of traumatic childhood than amazing childhood. Like I could count probably just on one hand, the amount of times I've heard people say, "Oh my gosh, I had a great childhood." And then there's 500 people who are just in that traumatic state, and probably more than that. But we got, when I look back, when I was in my victim state, I look back on my childhood and thought, man, I was really robbed.
Yeah.
I was robbed of being a child. I had to grow up real fast, and so did you.
Yeah.
And then I think of those people who stories I've heard way worse than mine, way worse than mine. And it's just like, man, to think, to imagine, had all of us had an amazing childhood, where would we be right now? Most likely more joyful, loving life more instead of learning to love life. But with all of it, we've been we've played the part in creating change, and that's a reason why we show up, right?
Yeah.
We're here to help people see things differently, in different perspective. And one of those things is to connect with your little person inside, your inner child, to let them live now. And I mean, yeah, we got things in our life that need some serious attention, but not every moment of every day is serious. And so let that inner child, that little person inside, to feel safe and laugh more and play more and be fun, loving, be curious, be adventurous. I think when I learned to laugh at myself, that was an amazing thing. Like it was amazing that when I would do something in the past, I would just been really mad at myself for messing up. And today I'm just like, okay, either I laugh at myself or I'm just like, okay, well, let's fix it. It's not defining me. It's not defining who I am. It's not defining my emotion as far as, losing my power through anger or frustration or anything like that. It's like, oh, I I am not the only person on this planet that made a mistake in this moment. There are many, many, many people who have done, and it's like, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. I've laughed at myself in public, right? And that's one of the things is because if I go into that anger state or irritated or frustrated at myself, then I'm telling that little person in me that it's not safe yet. We're still not safe because I can't get it right. As an adult, I still can't get it right. So my little person is not safe yet. But when I can laugh about it, that sends a different signal. It's like, it's okay. We're all right. It's going to get fixed. We didn't set off a nuclear bomb. So
No,
it was a little tiny misprint or a little tiny whatever. It's okay.
it's okay. It is. You know, I didn't realize it, but I've been laughing. I mean, I've been laughing for days lately. I mean, I would say for days, like about every little thing. If everything's light and funny, which of course that allows your inner child stuff to come forward or to see different things. And of course, being in a victim mindset, which I was, like you were even saying, if I looked at my childhood through the victim mindset, there was never anything good, but I had good moments. And that's the thing we don't appreciate. We don't spend the time to appreciate. And I almost feel like going through the things that we did in our early life that we didn't get to, we had to learn how, we not had to learn, we are learning currently how to live and, love life and stuff. I feel like it's almost given me more of an appreciation for life. Would I have appreciated life as much if my life was always easygoing? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe this is exactly how it was supposed to be for me, because that's just what helped me to grow. And it doesn't matter that I'm 50 years old. Actually, I'm 51 now, but it doesn't matter that I had to get to this point, to this stage of my life. I got to this stage of my life. And something else I've been noticing lately too, which a lot of us probably do, is we feed ourselves these stories, these scenarios, like, oh my God, what if this is happening, or what if this is happening, or your mind starts creating. Let's just use jealousy as an instance. Oh, what if he's doing this? What if he's doing that? What if she's doing this right now? Oh, she could be doing this right now. And then you feel all this energy within yourself. But what if you start thinking opposite stuff? Like, what if this is what I've been doing lately. So if anything pops into my head that feels bad at all, I'm automatically creating it. What would I want it to be like? Because all that stuff that's coming forward is not to hurt me or harm me or make my day worse or, not good. It's only there to remind me, like, what could be better than that? You've already experienced stuff like this. What would you like? What would you like to see? Like, what would you put on the order next? Would you watch this movie again? Or would you put on a new movie that makes you laugh? I put on a new movie that makes me laugh. Like, I'm going to pick different things. And that's what I've been doing, like almost running different scenarios. It's making me immediately, as soon as I start seeing something that I don't like or I'm focusing on, I start looking at, but what if it was like this? Because it's our story, right? We talk about writing books and all this other stuff, but we're writing books every day. We're writing our story every day with our thoughts. We don't even know we're doing it half the time. You're already doing it right this moment,
It's true.
all day. And it's like, do I want that in my story? No, I had it in my story. That was chapter 3. Okay, I'm on chapter 50. Why would I go back to chapter 3? Already read it, already did it.
I already did it. Why do I want to do it again?
Yeah, I'm in chapter 51 now. Let's have freaking fun. 51's gonna be freaking amazing. It's gonna even be better than 50.
Yay.
I like this chapter.
I did. That's the way I felt too. I love that you put it in that analogy of writing the chapters, because it's true. If we've already written all these first 50 chapters, why are we still rewriting those chapters? Why are we still living those chapters? We're here right now and we're going to move forward. You want to continue, you want to write another 5, 10, or 20 chapters that you already written and live them, keep living that. I'm with you on that. I love that. I love seeing it that way. And there are times that, I too have a thought that doesn't feel good. And I'm like, whoa, whatever's happening right now is what you created. And so if you want to seriously have these conversations with myself, if you want to keep doing this, you want to keep writing these chapters, living these chapters again, then yeah, you can keep the same mindset, but otherwise you got to shift it, and you got to shift it right now. Because this shifting this chapter right now is going to shift the next chapter and the chapters after that. And so I'm with you on that. I love that. I'm going to remember that. That's a good one. Thanks, Bev.
Thanks, creator. Yeah, because that's just as fun. I sit here and I'll say, okay, well, you go ahead and lead the show. Lead the show, because whatever you want to talk about. So, but that just made sense, because I don't very rarely have I gone back and read a book. Self-help books are a little bit different. Some of those other books, those are different. But to go back and read something, a novel or someone's life story that was so horrible in the beginning, would I go back to read that again? No, that's not why. Why? Then that's where you go back to that whole process again, even though that was for something else, but can be used for why am I putting myself through this? Why do I keep watching stuff like that? Why am I reading the books that I'm reading? I mean, it's like we can use that for almost everything that we're doing on a daily basis. Why do I procrastinate? Well, we know the basis of that is control as well, but
right.
Yeah, there is that, and I'm very good at procrastinating.
And that's a chapter, right? So you're gonna keep writing the procrastination.
I'm on the chapter 51 now. That's over.
Yeah. Done with it, man. Done. It's true. It's the chapter. So my chapter recently was the chapter I was living. I've been living since the pandemic started last year. Was I stopped getting up as early. And I was like, that's got to change. That's got to change now. So that started yesterday. And, there's sometimes pain or hardship in the change. But once that change becomes a habit and it's benefiting you, then you realize how amazing it is. So by getting up early, I have more time in the day. And 2 things, I sleep better at night.
Gotcha.
right? So the benefits, what's the benefit of that change? What's the benefit of writing a new chapter? What's the benefits that you're going to get that I would say are healthy for you, healthy changes? So the chapter that goes right along with the chapter of I'm going to stay around this person and keep being manipulated and given to them and feel like I'm being loved and accepted, even though I know this relationship doesn't feel good. And how many chapters am I going to write on that? Like how many different relationships are going to be similar to that until I decide to change what I'm writing, right? And so once I start writing a different way, for me to change, not this person in the center. That person in the center is not going to change. For me to change, I need to write a new chapter. I need to see it differently. I need to change my mindset, right? So I need to stop focusing on this person and I need to look over here where I want to go. Because the person who's making me feel loved and accepted is not going to contribute to me advancing in a different direction because they want me to stay as well because we're aligned energetically. So when I start writing a new chapter, this person, this character is no longer in the story. They're not a main character anymore. They might still be in a character showing up in different scenarios, like, oh, these people that I know are hanging out with this person, this character, right? But that character is not directly affecting you anymore. They're past. So we still learn from them, no doubt. They still show up, no doubt. But we're in a different space because we're telling a different story.
And another way of helping to let go of a lot of this stuff too, being all right with it, is finding something positive about that person. And sometimes if the only thing that you can find positive about that person is they have nice teeth, well, then they have nice teeth. And the only reason that I say that is because now you're no longer putting a energy towards something that you don't want. You're not putting, I hate the way that person treated me. I hate the way that I felt when I was around them. I can't believe I was such a jackass. Why did I fall for this crap? Forgiving yourself, but finding something nice about that person. So you're not holding on to a negative thought or belief. It doesn't matter whether it was true or not. It doesn't matter because it's just an energy. And it's like, if you want to free yourself and stop carrying around that pile of shit, the best way to do it is by finding something positive or something good about that person or situation, and then let that be your story, and then forgiving yourself, and then focusing on yourself. That's really been a big part of what's been going on with me. When I notice that there's something, a worry or concern that's going on outside of me, that's a reminder. That's like a light goes on, and it's like, I need my attention. The reason I'm feeling this way is because I need to give myself attention. Whether it's rubbing my own feet, whatever it is, singing a song, whatever makes you feel good. That's what I say, just go do that. But you got to do, it just helps to get you centered and grounded and puts the focus back on yourself, because I had been doing it my whole life. So it was so easy to be so focused on everybody else's stuff. And we've talked about this a million times, but I'm feeling it. And this is the stuff that I'm living these days. I'm living the story,
Yep.
right?
And I want to hit upon as well that in your story, you control your schedule.
Oh yeah.
And if you don't, this is something I learned a lot about over this past year, is if you don't control your schedule, somebody else will.
Oh yeah.
Everybody else will.
Whether it's your business or not, because I was doing that, and I was letting everybody else do it. And now it's like, no, this is my schedule.
Yeah. And so that was very evident in the past 4 months, or the first 4 months of this year when I was caregiving. I was on call 24/7. And whatever was needed to happen, I had to be on it. So it was like that was the story. Those were the stories I was telling, was I need to be present for these people. And when I have time for my life, I'll fit it in. And now the tables have turned. And now I'm looking at my schedule and going, okay, this is what I need to do to progress in my business. And I got to schedule it. I got to fit it in, put it in my calendar. And then, people, I live this way okay, since last year. It was, oh, whatever, things will get done and it'll be fine and it's okay. I'll get to it. But then something always comes up, right? And you never get
Yeah.
to whatever it is you need to get done because something else always comes up and takes that time.
God dang it, I even have the fan going in here. Let me get stopped. Ah,
It's confirmation. We're speaking the truth. So, so get your calendar and you write in those moments. You schedule an appointment with yourself for your meditation, for your body movement, for your journaling, for, right? You gotta lay it on your put it on your schedule, make an appointment with yourself. Because if you don't, then you'll never, not never, but seldom will you take the time for yourself because everybody else is taking up your time. And because you're a fixer, you're going to make sure everybody else is happy first before you are. And it's time to reverse that, right? So I just wanted, like, because you mentioned that at the very beginning, that I'm in control of my schedule and I took the week off. You scheduled that. You put that on your calendar. You put on your calendar when you have massage appointments. You're going to keep those appointments unless you're not feeling well.
mm-hmm.
Right? But what about all the other stuff? Writing that new chapter, having, time to meditate, having the time to move your body, having the time to nurture yourself in any other way that feels good, taking a vacation or getting away somewhere, right? Spending time with your significant other or your friends or your family members, scheduling that in. And that is creating your future. That is creating the time, because that's just like saying, oh, okay, I would love to have a new car. Great. Well, when I focus on it, visualize it, and spend the time doing that, it comes to fruition, depending on my diligence and consistency of focusing on it. It's the same thing with your schedule. You're telling the universe, these blocks of time are for me. And it's amazing because you'll notice, like, there's no phone calls, there's no texts, it's just amazing how this space is created for you to take the time for yourself. So I every day, I sit down on Sunday and I write out my week. And then every night, like tonight, I'll look at tomorrow's schedule and kind of look over the next few days. And I do that every night and just see where I want to spend my time. Does life happen? Do things come up? Emergency? Absolutely, they do. But the point is you're not every day living your life by other people's schedules. And no is no. If it's not on your schedule and you don't want to do it, no is no. No, I can't do it right now.
Yeah. And that took me a long time to do too. It's not just healthy boundaries again. It really is creating healthy boundaries for yourself. And then trusting your intuition. That's what I was going to ask you. You're talking about doing these listen stuff. Do you sit back and then your intuition guide you? Like, this is the things that, could be you should do this week, or I mean, like, or how are you just making plans up? I mean, because right now I'm in the 7, right? So last year, if you would have tried to push to do anything, nothing was going to happen, because I've already experienced that this year. No matter what kind of push, if I try to push to make something happen or do something, it has not gone my way. It seems like I'm running in frickin' quicksand and I'm getting buried up to my neck. So
I felt like that last year too.
Yeah. So you stop and it's like you come back to the surface again. So I'm in a place now where it's like, even for me, I can write down a few things to plan on doing, and then I let my intuition guide me when it needs to be done. And not even say when it needs to be done, just when it feels like I want to do it. So I can write it down, but then it's like I feel like because when I do it that way, it feels like it happens so fast and it's so easy.
I have, I write down the times of like appointments and things I have to do. And let's be clear, I don't have to do anything, but what I have scheduled appointments for, I write those down. I know those are important that day because I mean, those are appointments. And then I break it down into my business, personal, and then any other topic. So I'm in a women's organization, so that has a title. And then I, still participating a little bit in the caretaking of my friend. So that has a title, right? So I just list everything out, and then I focus on the most important things, get those done, and then the rest of it, and get as much as I've done as I can. And what I don't get done today will move to tomorrow.
Gotcha.
And it said, if you've moved it 3 times, you need to do it. That third day, get it done. Because what happens is that starts weighing on you. It creates like a stagnant energy and weight that of procrastination. I need to get this done, but I haven't done it yet, and blah, 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 right? And so if you've moved it 3 times, you need to get it done.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the way I create my schedule for each day.
Nice.
Yeah. And staying focused. So I just, one thing is, I use social media for business. So to get on, do the business, get off. Don't sit there and scroll, because that's time where I could have gotten 2 or 3 other things accomplished. So that's, oh, what is it called? I just totally lost the word. Anyway, so just being mindful not to get on the social media and scroll through it. I will actually, the scrolling part, just to see what's going on with people and what they're posting, I'll spend a little more time in the evening when I'm hanging out to do that. But during the day, business, and then off. And there's again, business leaders that I've listened to, they're like, first of all, your multimillionaires, they're not hanging out on social media. There's other people doing their posts for them. So that's creating a job for somebody, right?
Yeah.
Those that are building their business, they set a timer, or they'll play 1, 2, or 3 songs, which is like what, 3 to 9 minutes, 3 to 10 minutes. Once that's done, off. You get off and you go to the next thing that you need to get done. So
very nice.
Yeah. So wow, we've given so much information today. I think, I mean, it in a way, it's like we're over here and over here and over here, but it all blended together, which is great. And I love that our conversations do that. So I put a title on our videos, but that doesn't mean that's all there is. And I always put in the paragraph, and so much more, because there's always so much more. To write a big, huge explanation of what's in the video, I don't do that. It's very short. I feel if people are guided to listen to us, they will. And then if you're guided to share this information with others, that is great. We appreciate that by sharing this with your friends and family, or somebody who could benefit from the information, from the wisdom. I love that word, wisdom, knowledge that we share. Bev and I show up every week to do this, and I really enjoy it. I feel it's very beneficial for those who are listening. So thank you for your time and energy.
Thank you very much.
So
and thank you
as well. Thank you. And you can always leave comments, questions, and or contact us through email, amieandbev@gmail.com. So with that, hope you all have a great week.
Yeah, have an amazing week.
And happy birthday last Saturday.
Well, thank you so very much.
All right. Take care. Thank you for being here.